Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the brand new second season of the PSAI talk show. How are you all doing? Put it in the chat window, please. Give me a thumbs up if you are doing great, or you can write great too. So, as we wait for the responses to come, let me just uh, take you through a Friday evening treat. Being a part of a talk show on a Friday evening is a wonderful way to begin the weekend, wouldn't you say? So, welcome to the PSAI talk show. So, I started my career as a Toastmaster. In Toastmasters, you are expected to be a generalist, to be able to speak on any Toastmaster related topic at the drop of a hat. To take my speaking to the next level, I decided to become a professional speaker. How hard can it be to convert myself from generally speaking to a professional speaker? And that's when I realized when you're being paid to speak, there's a lot more in business involved than just speaking. And that's when I discovered PSAI, the Professional Speakers Association of India. Thank you, Brigadier Sushil, Kulbhushan Gupta. Thank you for joining, Kavita Ramchandran. Yes, please keep those responses coming. Love it. Give me a thumbs up or a great if you're happy to be here and waiting to listen to our guest today. Thank you, Ram Prasad. So let's move on. For all our new audience members, the PSAI is an association formed to build a strong community to help you enhance your professional speaking career globally. The PSAI is part of the Global Speakers Federation, an organization of 14 national speaking associations of 14 countries, which include USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, UK, Malaysia, South Africa, and much more. So, we at the PSAI believe that anyone, absolutely anyone who is an expert in their work area or has lived a life with many lessons must share their message with the world. Now, the PSAI talk show is a firm step in that direction. It is a live event that is packed with value and insights for speakers, aspiring speakers, coaches, trainers, and consultants. So, before I move on, let me just have a look at the chat. Keep it coming, Vijay Lakshmi. Thank you. Yes, Brigadier Sushil is waiting to hear Rajendran's story. So now let's move on to our guest. Now, all of you watch YouTube, I'm pretty sure, but how many of you want to use this platform to build your brand and grow your business? Type yes in the chat box if you want to do that. Yes, great to see that. I see some responses coming. Yes, we all want to use this medium of YouTube, which is so handily and readily available to build a brand, especially when you are a speaker, a consultant, a coach. But are you consistent? Do you create quality content on a consistent basis and share it out with the audience? That is the challenge. But today, we have with us a gentleman who created 365 videos. Yes, you got it right. 365 videos in 365 days in 2021, which is last year. How's that for consistency? And that is our first guest for you, Rajendran Dandapani. After dropping out of IIT Madras as an engineer, imagine that, in electronics and electrical communication, Rajendran was part of the founding team at Zoho Corporation, then called Wembu Systems. Later, he spent 7 years at Zerago, Asia's largest new age marketing entity, as their chief algorithms officer, managing projects and services for clients including Citibank and Sci-Fi. After rejoining Zoho Corporation in 2004, he has been serving a triple role in the company. He spearheads mobile development at Zoho with a multi talented team that builds mobile apps for its 45 million plus customers. He is the president at Zoho Schools of Learning, Zoho's own ongoing social experiment, seen by many as a viable alternative to conventional college education. He is also a TEDx speaker and a technology evangelist who tries to share hard earned advice and best practices from his 2 dozen years of professional experience. Beyond work, he is a contra academician at heart, feeling strongly that the education system in India needs a reboot. He also walked the talk, doing his own small bit by free schooling his 20-year-old son at home. His son graduated out of Zoho Schools of Learning and is now his colleague at Zoho Corp. And last but never the least, he is the present president of the PSAI. Yes, let me welcome our guest for the evening, Rajendran Dandapani. Hi, Rajendran, and welcome to this first episode of the second season of the PSAI Talk Show. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for this opportunity. It's always amazing chatting with folks from PSAI because it's like one extended community, a family really, where there are these completely different backgrounds, but there is this one common long term goal, which is to carry a message, tell a story, and somehow inspire and motivate our audience and take them to the next level.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And we are honored to have you here as our first guest for the second season and the first episode. So let me ask you, since this is the Professional Speaking Association of India and you are its current president, what was your journey like into professional speaking?
All right. The word professional itself means a lot, and I learned its meaning only after I joined PSAI. Because until then, I thought professional means dressing well, addressing an audience with respect, and delivering what was asked and probably going beyond the ask. But even Toastmasters does that. Any speaking club perhaps does that. But with the Professional Speaking Association, something like a PSAI, that is where you understand that this is the science, the business, the art of speaking itself, and taking it to such a level that you actually can turn it into a profession, something that takes care of your monetary needs and gives you the freedom, the flexibility to pursue your passion. So I'm not a technically I am not a professional speaker yet. I am a software engineer in a company called Zoho Corporation. I am also a teacher at Zoho Schools of Learning. It is an alternative, meaningful alternative to conventional college education. So, if you want to know about my journey into professional speaking, I would actually put it as internally in my company, I started talking about the products that we were building, the ideas, the features, right? There is this internal selling that happens even before a software product comes out into the world. So I started doing that. And then I slowly became an evangelist for my company. So whenever the company needed somebody to go pitch an idea, a product outside into the outside world to unveil a new product that we were launching, I was asked to come along, and I learned that art of evangelizing. And when you address 60 plus students who are probably half your age, who are of the post millennial, you call them zillennial variety, it is very, very hard to hold on to their attention and get a message across in the 40 minutes you get to talk to them. So I have been honing that skill of talking so that people will listen, right? So you could call that as my first faltering steps in this long journey of professional speaking.
Wow, amazing. So you took every opportunity that you had and molded yourself into a speaker, and you
Right.
also found how to hold the
Actually,
audience attention.
yeah, actually, taking the opportunity, probably I'll stretch it a little to grabbing, to probably reaching farther than you can actually do well, always trying to see, when you take a call and say it is okay if people call you an idiot, it is okay to mess up grandly on stage, you shed a huge burden of that ego, of that image. It is okay to be to be a joker that day, right? When you keep that apart and then get on stage, it is that eternal sunshine of the spotless mind, literally, that comes out, and that is when you are free to flow, right? That is something I have discovered again and again. You actually have to reach beyond what you have done till now, till that day, and venture into the unknown, the dark unknown. Take that leap of faith. The spirits will line up and help you.
Wow, amazing take. Yes, and I do agree. When you get onto the stage, you just forget everything else and you just live in that moment. So, how did you find your niche, or do you have a specific niche that you say that this is what I speak upon?
Right. I would like to actually thank the Professional Speakers Association of India for this, because I didn't even know one had to have a niche. I thought one could speak about anything, because I thought it was all about storytelling. It was all about the art of persuasion, the act of convincing somebody, the act of diplomatically making them believe that it is they who came up with the idea, not us who came up with the idea and surreptitiously sowed them in their mind when they were all hypnotized. I thought speaking was that. But only when I met some of these stalwarts in and also other speaking associations around the world, which PSAI gives an amazing opportunity to interact with almost in a weekly basis, that is when I realized you can't just be a speaker of anything. Yes, you can try anything that you want, but you can't do everything. There has to be a time when you need to narrow down, and that is the niche that you are talking about. You need to pick, you need to keep digging further and further until you can become that global expert, that world leader in that particular niche. So we thought we could build software. Then we thought we could build software for the cloud. Then we said we could build software for financial needs, a financial suite. And today we're obsessing even further and saying for Indian companies governed by Indian laws. I think it is the same thing in any profession, including the profession of speaking. We have seen that with medicine. Once upon a time, there was this physician, the doctor. Then it became a neurosurgeon, a ear, nose, throat guy, a gastroenterologist, and so on. So I think this beautiful thing of picking your niche, I think it is something that every one of us should go through that exercise of. I have been doing it myself in the past 3 years. I have been associated with PSAI, and it has been more about saying no to things that I could also do than to actually say yes about the one thing that I could do very well. So when you start saying all those 1,000 no's, that single yes starts burning bright in front of you. And today, I am humbly laying it forward to you. This is the first time I am probably going public with such a private matter. I think teaching the art of learning, teaching how to learn, how to be a lifelong learner is my niche. And how am I preparing for it? How am I focusing on it? Easy, by being a learner. Yeah, it is so easy when you choose a niche like this. It is all about learning, and I am learning about learning so that I can have my niche as teaching the art of learning.
Wow, amazing. It is said that if you teach what you learn, you'll learn better. And I
Twice,
think you are
four
doing that.
times. Yeah.
So now let's come to the question which everybody is burning to ask you. And I would also request the audience to hold your questions and give it to us at the end. We will answer all your questions. So, why videos, Rajendran, and why YouTube?
Okay. So before YouTube, before videos, I have been on the internet for probably 40 years now, 30, 40 years now. And I have been observing all the content, the media, and I have been a member of each of those. I have posted on Facebook. I have been a tweeter. I have started blogging. Thrice I started and stopped, and now I am blogging for the fourth time. I have explored each of these media. But when COVID happened, and anyway, everybody started going on video for classes, for team interactions, for public presentations. All the colleges and all the organizations that were inviting me in person started saying, please come online, sir. This is the link. So there was some magnetic, almost romantic attraction to that little green dot in front of your laptop and that flat screen and a collection of boxes where you could probably even not wear anything presentable below your hip and still get away with it. But that attraction of this video media kind of hit me when COVID happened. Also, I started realizing Google has actually been dethroned. My time, when we were students, when we were just out of college, when we wanted to learn something, we actually Googled it. Today, YouTube and TikTok seem to be the new Google. If you want to learn something, if you want to search for something, if you want to assemble something, if you want to set something up, it is all about the multimedia, the eye, the ear, the complete background music and the background props. It is that multimedia arresting that happens with the video medium. And so that was a great attraction, and I fell headlong into it.
So when you said you need to only dress above the waist, it's called dressing up. You dress up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm really, awed that you just took this medium by the horns when it came and you jumped in, as you said. So let me ask you, why did you decide to do that 365 videos, one video a day, and how did you create your video strategy? See, many of us struggle to put out one video a month also. All right. So
Okay.
what is that strategy?
Okay. So, first of all, even before I get into anything that sounds like I am boasting about it, I need to say sorry to my family, to my wife, to my son, to my mother, because we all have only 24 hours. If you dedicate a slice of time every day to some nonsense like this, you will have to take away valuable time from something else. God doesn't give you the gift of time. Nobody gets it. Nobody. So, apologies for that. And now I'll tell you where it all started. See, even before I did the 365 videos, first of all, it is not 365. I have been continuing even after that. And today, actually, after we finish this call, I'm going to publish my 408th video. So it's lined up, all done, and it's about screwdrivers. It's about screwdrivers and screws. Okay. So even before I went on this random journey of 365 videos on 365 days, in 2020, in the depth of the first wave of COVID, we were at home. We were all at home, stuck away from everybody else, working from home, watching TV from home, talking only to family members, doing everything online. And at that time, I thought it might make probably a little sense to start some regular habit, something to look forward to every day, something that differentiates Monday from a Thursday, because that was a very hard problem for us. Monday was like Thursday, was like Sunday, because during COVID first wave.
Yes.
So my mom and I, we got together and said, I will read one chapter a day of this great Mahabharata epic. So there is this amazing author, a Tamil author called Jayamohan. Jayamohan sir has written, just finished, he recently finished it, has written 20, 26 books spanning 25,000 pages, 26 books he has written. He started in the year 2014, and he wrote one chapter a day. So this is what I told my mom. I said, Amma, if a guy can write one chapter a day, can't we read one a day? And we got on to that now. Okay. So every day, come rain or shine, whether I had work elsewhere or not, whether my mom was unwell or not, we somehow made it happen. In fact, I was in a hospital for a while. I did audio recordings and sent it to her. I just ensured you will get your delivery before the end of that day. So, one whole year, every day, I read, and I was so happy I was able to achieve it. Atomic habits, like James Clear says. And then, when the next year turned around, I thought we should do something more. Come on, how long are you going to be a consumer? Why can't you be a creator? Consuming is probably easy, consuming something regularly. Notch it, push it up a little, and see if you can create something every day. And that's when I took on the challenge. And when I took on the challenge, I said, I will number my videos with 3 digits, 001. Because when you number it 01, you can actually stop at 99. When you number it 1, you can stop it at 10. But when you number it 001, you have to stop only at 999. So that was like a little a fire under my backside that I kept for myself. And I decided to just take it as it comes. Every day, whatever idea caught my attention through the day, I spent a couple of hours every night putting a presentation together. That was another reason why the video medium attracted me, because I love presentations. I love imagery. I love animating them as I speak, stuff coming up on screen, and being the complement to what was happening visually in my background. So I think that is something that attracted me to the video medium too. So I just started, and things started rolling. Help started coming from unusual friends, and new unexpected angles. They said, talk about this. They said, here is something you should probably know, you should add in your next video. And they started encouraging me, and one led to the other, and here I am at 408.
Wow,
You said something
amazing.
about, you asked something about video strategy. Can you ask your question again?
Yes, yes. So, how did you create this video strategy that you will
Okay.
put out one every day, which leads actually to my next
Okay.
question?
Okay.
Or of the content, how did you decide the content?
Okay. So, one thing I am obsessed about, I think there was some famous author who also brought in a reference to this being creativity and a mark of intelligence itself, your ability to connect things. That's all. It's all about connections. If you can draw a dotted line connection with something, from something you heard this morning, watched this morning on TV, and something that your boss wrote in his article to managers, and something that your son was having as a dinner table conversation, if you can bring these three together with a connecting thread, that's it. That will be the seed of your video for that day, and you will create a kind of a blossoming flower, something that people can water and probably harvest with their own connections. Yeah, because information is out there. Nothing new in this world for you to, nobody else knows about this thing, and I am going to tell the whole world about it. You are Elon Musk, probably you can do that. Not me, not you. So all we can do is draw those connections. So I'll take the example of 408, today's video that is going to be launched in a couple of hours. So I read from a book about screwdrivers and screws. I had read many, many years ago about what Steve Jobs said about not allowing his customers, his users, to open the iPhone or the Mac. Again, screwdrivers and screws. And the book I am reading right now, called Build, by an author called Tony Fadell, he's the guy who invented the iPod. He writes about how he packaged a screwdriver along with the product he was selling. So, three connections. There is a guy who said, "You can't open." There is another guy who said, "Here, use my screwdriver itself to open, enjoy." And there is that story that's slowly blossoming. And today, my topic is called screwdriver, right? So, I have added where in the end, and it's called screwdriver. That's it.
Wow. So, from what I understood is you did not plan that every day I will do this, this, this. You just enjoyed the day and you waited for things to happen and you would just make connections.
Yes. So, the thing is, freshness is important. If the Indian cricket team or the Chennai Super Kings team has won a match yesterday, and I am talking about cricket today, modesty and all the demand is I have to actually pay my respect to this team. I can't be talking negatively about this team because it has just won. If you remember those olden days when Osama bin Laden was alive, you know how he used to send out those video messages? He used to first hold out the newspaper of the day, because the newspaper of the day cannot be faked. That is news. That is that local day's news, that day's news. So Osama isn't dead. This isn't some old archived video. He is right there. He has read that day's newspaper and he is giving us a message. That was how he motivated his followers. So I think freshness is very important. If a customer, all my viewers are our customers. If a customer is coming to my website or spending those 15 minutes watching my video, I cannot serve them something that I cooked 15 days ago. No way. It has to be cooked that day. It has to be lopped off the top of my head. The most recent thoughts that are boiling in my head, that should be given to them, right? Which is why every 10 episodes I had a reconnection with my audience. So I had a Q&A kind of session. I collected all feedback that I received via Facebook, via Twitter, via WhatsApp, via YouTube, and put them all together. I apologized where I had to. I thanked where I had to. There were some funny, naughty questions which came. I acknowledged them too. And that's how it happened. It had to be fresh. That would be my single advice. If at all I can give you any advice, please do not do stuff and post it later. It has to be fresh. It has to be in the moment. It has to be contextually relevant. That's the only way you can get your message out.
So, coming to that freshness, what would be the time that you spent over the 365 days to create each video, which is so unique? Each video of yours is so unique. The subject is so unique. You had to do some research. What
Okay.
was the time that you spent on average?
Yeah. So so many times you have kept saying your video, your channel, and so on. So let me do a little positioning here. My channel is called Quotidians, Quotidians, or you can search for Rajendran Dandapani on YouTube and you'll be able to get to my channel very easily. Quotidian actually is an English word, and it stands for the normal drudgery, the boring daily matters, nothing special, daily, again and again, boring, repetitive. That was the word. So I wanted to give a new meaning to that word. I said we will redefine that word. So I only took that daily matter, that daily thing. Quotidian means daily. Why can't something be very good and still be daily? Why can't it be so? So that was the motivation behind naming it quotidian. Also, when you call something quotidian and it really fails miserably, and nobody really warms up to it, I can say, of course, what did you expect? It was quotidian after all. Right? So I was perfectly covered there. Yeah, when I thought of that. So um, but your question was, how much time did you spend? um, I don't know. Again, was it Dale Carnegie who said this, or I'm not very sure. Um, you cannot really put a time to an effort like this, because in one of my videos, for example, I talk about a lesson I learned from my dad 35 years ago, a lesson I learned when I made a mistake. So this is a memory that has been preserved after 2 days of strife and struggle, and a lesson I learned from my dad. So will you say this quotidian is worth 2 days? Or is it just one sliver of memory in my mind? What about the books I read? I'm not reading books so that I could make videos. I make videos because I anyway read books. This is not my money making channel ever. I don't intend to do that. This is a spill off. This is a I keep pouring into this vessel. The good parts spill out, and I am happy sharing it with everybody, whoever is interested in hearing what I am here to say. So that is how I see it. I am anyway going to keep filling this vessel. I am anyway going to be voraciously hungry, looking for nuggets around the world, from books, from people like you, from friends, from enemies. Oh my God, how much you can learn from enemies. I learn all that. And whenever it is time for a quotidian, I look for connections. And at this time, I think it is worth sharing with you. I have no connection. I am not getting any commission when I say this, but this is such an amazing website and product that it has really, really started acting like my second brain. It is there, out there for me to search. Why am I why am I never repeating any content? Try doing 408 videos multiplied by 30, 40 slides each. I have done 9,600 slides worth of content till now. You can't find a single repeat. Very hard. Why? Not because I have some amazing memory, not because I have a team working for me, but there is this website called mymind.com. Came out very recently, and I have started dumping all my content into it. It's AI powered. It can take PDFs, it can take images, it can take text, it can take links, it can digest stuff, it can read images and understand the text embedded in them. Think about that, right? So it's doing all that, and when I search, right, and when I give a query there, it tells me where all I have already spoken about. It is a priced service, but I will strongly recommend any of you, could be students, could be teachers, could be professionals, could be speakers. If you are looking to have a second brain, it has a mobile app, it has a laptop web app. If you're looking to have a second brain, something that you can offload your stuff and search whenever you want. If you remember Dumbledore and Harry Potter, you remember that
Yes,
pensieve.
yes.
Yeah, that pensieve. This
Hmm.
is the pensieve, right? So please visit mymind.com. I have no association with it, but I am dying to get more people onto it, because I want that service to really do well. So many companies open up and close down. I want this baby to live long. So thank you.
So, having heard that all your videos are fresh, just off your brain, okay, just what happened that day, and it is your passion. So, a lot of us on this call are speakers, trainers, coaches, and we want to use YouTube as a way to build our brand, to stand for who we are. What is the advice that you would give to them?
Yeah. So, first of all, I am not in a position to advise. I can only tell you about the path I have followed. And if somebody wants to come along that path, I can tell you about dangers, about interesting things in that path. Happy to be a co traveler with you, right? So, first of all, I don't think you should look at any such medium, probably YouTube as a channel, as your source of income. Yeah, You should not be doing that. It should, I think I learned that lesson just looking at Zoho as a company. I have been associated with this company. I am employee number 7. I have been with this company for 26 years now. And if there is one takeaway that I can from this company, it will be that you focus on the grander deal. The start with why, your reason for existence. You start with that grander vision, the money will automatically come. The need, the subsistence management, not the greed, but the need will automatically be taken care of. So aim for that greater purpose. Don't look
Yes,
at,
so
and
in
I,
that context,
yeah,
no, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
sure, sure.
In that context, so I'll just pause here. If you have any questions, it is time to take questions. As soon as Rajendran answers this, we will take questions from the audience. So my question was actually,
Yeah,
how do we use YouTube to build a brand to
yeah,
showcase who we are through
yeah,
giving value?
yeah, I understand that. So I'm coming there. So first of all, don't look at this as oh, now I am going to use YouTube as my channel of delivery. So most of us have watched Money Heist, and if I give you an example from that, you may hate that guy, Arturo Roman. You remember that guy, the guy who is the bank manager? Who, yeah. So if you remember Arturo Roman, the first season, he is such a, oh my god, we wish he were dead. Yeah, that's how much we hate him. And do you see how he makes an entrance in the second season, or probably the third season? I'm not sure. He comes in as a speaker, he comes in as a presenter. It's like a huge TED audience out there. And behind him are actually scenes from the Money Heist. And he says, I was there, I experienced it. They had explosives tied to my chest. I could have died. But you know what I did? I stole a knife and knifed a guy and came out, and here I am. I want to share that with you. If I can do it, you can too. This thing. So, uh, all of us call it building that reputation, having something to share, not just as a speaker, but as a person who has lived a story and here to share it, right? So first of all, identify that story, live the story. I am still living mine, which is why probably I have not become a full-time speaker. I have some time to live, I have a lot to do still before I can get that amazing crescendo point that each of you have reached as speakers. So once I do that, I can look back, I can dip into that ocean of knowledge perhaps and give you spoonfuls. So that is the first thing. The second thing is, if you are on YouTube, if you want to make video as your medium, you cannot skip on technology. You don't need to spend much. You don't need to spend much, but you need to learn the game. You need to understand what social media is. You need to be responsive to your audience. When there is a comment, you have to respond. When there is a dip in your daily added new users, you have to respond. And fresh, like I told you earlier, you have to keep producing something. If you have been on YouTube and haven't produced anything for a month, you're as good as dead. You're forgotten. It is not going to be easy at all clawing your way back. So invest today. You don't need special lighting. You don't need a special camera. You don't need a Yeti microphone. Laptops are good enough. YouTube takes very good care of your content. All you have to do is ensure you have these basic technologies, your soundproof room, your basic microphone, your place where you can edit video. There are some online websites using which you can edit video, or there are some free tools or very cheap tools using which you can edit video, add some introduction and outro, and so on. And you have to build some kind of consistency. Right from my first video, I somehow fell upon a routine of sorts. There will be an entrance. There will be always a title box. There will always be a switch between Tamil and English. People hate me for it. You hate me for it, perhaps, Chimmu. You don't understand
No, no.
all my Tamil. You do.
I do, I do.
Okay, okay. So some people have written to me saying, if only you do this in English completely, you will probably reach a larger audience. Again, this thing about audience, it is a myth that numbers mean anything at all. Actually speaking, if you have 100 rabid fans, 100 people who wait and 15 minutes after you have launched your video have already watched it and given a comment to it, these 100 rabid fans, extremely loyal fans, are far better than a million subscribers who have subscribed to you in a whim and probably never ever visited or never ever seen a full video of yours. So that is something you need to focus on. And the duration, is it a 10-minute video, is it a 5-minute video, is there a takeaway? Today my videos have a beginning thought, and then there is an introduction, and then there is a takeaway thought and a summary, and looking forward to meeting you the next time. I ensure that I leave something as a question for me, because I don't want to finish everything up. I leave it as a question for me because to answer that question, I want to come back and do my next video. Start off where you left. Right? So that is again something that you need to have in position. Consistency, some kind of periodicity is important. You could like me, you could get into this trap of posting one video every day, but not everybody, I wouldn't recommend that to anybody. But immediately after I finished my first year, I switched to a nerdy thing called the digits of pi. So 3.14159 and so on, it goes to infinite number of digits. So I have told myself, whenever the next digit of pi is up, I will make one video. So on January 1, I made a video, and then January 4th, I made a video, and so on as the digits of pi went along. So I always had a sword dangling up above my head. If you don't have that, no point having any strategy, no point having amazing content. There will come a time when you say, okay, ra, chalega, let's do it some other day. And that starts the slip, that starts the decline. So if you have something that is chasing you like a dog all that time, there is this extra thing that is behind you that keeps looking for interesting stuff. Hey, I attended that book club yesterday. There was something that this person said interesting. You took a screenshot of it and added to my mind, and you have hashtagged it saying future quotidians. Let's bring that up and let's come up with something. See, many people just exist. Some people, they live every moment. They want to fill every day with something new that they learned, something interesting that they encountered. Some people are blessed that they encounter these interesting things with no effort at all, with no motivation at all. It just happens to them, perhaps. I know I am not blessed. So I go seeking by having somebody drive me from behind. That's what you're all doing by watching my videos.
Wow, amazing. So, what I find, we are going to just wind up in a few minutes. You can post your questions in the chat and we will take it up. So, there is one question here which says, what would be the top five tools that you would advise any person getting into YouTube to actually have?
Right, great. So there is, I'll tell you the tools I use because I have started using them after a review of many other tools. So there is this tool called MMHMM. This is not at all costly. It's pretty cheap, and there is a free version of it. For 40 minutes, you can use it. The power of is it's got a beautiful green screen remover, and it's got a beautiful automatic video recorder. You can record sessions of yourself speaking. Out of the 408 videos, nearly 350 of them would not have happened without. It's such an amazing tool. I'll strongly recommend that. It's available for the Mac, and a beta of it is available for the Windows OS 2. For editing videos, I use Camtasia. Camtasia is a very powerful tool from TechSmith. And more than the power, people like you and me, we need ease of use. We need something that will save us if we delete stuff by mistake. How often have you deleted something by mistake? You give it a name, you forget what name you gave, and you have already trashed it. This guy knows how people like us behave. This guy creates backup copies even without asking us. And then next time when it opens up, it says, "Looks like you lost a file. Would you want me to retrieve it for you?" He asks. So it is so user friendly while packing all the power of the tool under the bonnet. So Camtasia is my video editing tool. And YouTube itself, if you learn how to manage the studio, there are some beautiful tricks. It gives a lot of statistics about where in the world people are coming from, how often people are dropping off after watching 5 minutes of your video. People drop off, which parts can be auto translated, and so on. So YouTube itself is something that you should probably consider investing time on. It's free. The studio is available. Any one of you can become a creator today. If you have a Gmail account, if you have an account in Google, you can actually start posting videos today. Nothing stops you from doing that. What you need is an idea, and what you need is the will to start without an idea. Because when you start and promise to yourself that you won't stop come what may, ideas will flow. Trust me. Right? So that is a third tool that I'll strongly recommend. You will also need some image editing tools, some picture editing tools. Photoshop is a great tool. There are some online tools available. Even the mobile phone these days, they have amazing photo editing tools. One strong recommendation, a style tip, in if you may, I would give is learn how to create transparent images. Most of us create presentations, all of us steal from YouTube, all of us steal from Google perhaps, but we take an image and just drop it. Every tool today, every slide tool today, every presentation making tool has the feature, has the ability to create a transparent background of an image. It's a world of difference. It's a world of difference between having an image just dropped versus having an image that is edge cut, like me with the blue background here. That edge cut adds so much professionalism. So it could be Adobe Photoshop, and I use a tool called Acon on the Mac, and there are so many different such tools. Learn how to edit your own images. And then I would actually recommend against one thing, which is all these tools and techniques about optimizing your social media. I would like to reiterate what one of our great gurus, Frederick Harren from Singapore, an amazing global speaker, when he said, he actually drew an inverted triangle, a pyramid. And he said, you have to focus on your content, you have to have your idea, you have to have the audience, listen to the audience, engage with them, and all that. And in the bottom of that pyramid, there was one little yellow dot. Everybody asked him, what is that dot? You explained what each of these is. What is that dot? That little dot in the bottom. He said, that is your social media strategy. don't don't spend time obsessing about how to get your message to so many people, what kind of keywords and hashtags to use, what time to intelligently position your post so that it'll wake people up in the middle of the night in South America. No, that's the last bit. Everything else dwarfs it. That's insignificant, he said. And Frederick Harren, if you Google and watch some of his performances, you will be mind blown. Yeah. So this wasn't part of Frederick Harren's strategy. He didn't pay me. He didn't message me. What am I doing now? I have spread the virus of Frederick Harren to you, and that he has achieved not because of some social media strategy, but because he focused on content. He focused on that message. He is the guy who is the guru of niches. He is the creativity explorer, he calls himself. And that is what I want each of you to do too. The social media thing is a low hanging fruit. Anybody who reads a book about it, who downloads a tool, who doesn't mind getting into black magic and other such gray areas, can all run circles around others temporarily in the short term. But if you really want to go beyond that fad, beyond that trend, into something that is classic, that is timeless, you need to focus on content.
Wow. Amazing takeaway. Focus on content and not on social media. There is a question here about debugging technical issues, and did it set you back?
Yeah. So thankfully, I am a technologist, and I have been with technology from probably 30 years now. I have been dabbling in tech. I'm a software engineer myself. I have a team, a large 200 plus member team, who I can bank on if I'm stuck with something. So many of my colleagues have helped me in the middle of the night when I am stuck with something. So they have helped me. And you don't need to be really put off that this is something deeply technical. So many amazing creators out there in YouTube know very little about what's happening under the bonnet, what's really happening in the background. The tools are so good, so user friendly, it's so mistake forgiving. Yeah. So there is a backstage. You can publish a video just to a couple of friends. You can publish a video without a link being shared. You can have a special playlist. You can publish it. You can take it off. You can edit a video after it has been published. So no big deal. And go back to that first thing I said about, hey, just tell yourself it's okay to be that idiot. It's okay to be the town fool. Be the town fool. Be the laughing jackass. Be the laughing stock. And then after starting from that rock bottom, establish yourself. What do we remember Charlie Chaplin as today? As just a joker, or somebody who created amazing classic emotionally heavy movies? Who do we remember him as today? So when you start at the bottom, when you have zero ego, when you can just forget about having any reputation to protect at all, when you're already naked, nothing matters. Go out there, start talking. Anyway, people are going to ignore you. That's the truth. People are busy. They are not cruel. They're not cruel. They are busy. Acknowledge that they are busy. But if you can choose a timeless message, something that will be true today, true 10 days from now, if you can have the timelessness in your message, you can feel that someday this will be rediscovered. And when something is rediscovered, there is this beautiful avalanche, a snowball effect that happens. And that is when suddenly people will say, overnight sensation. Most overnight sensations are 10 years old, they say, right? They were
Yes,
born
yes.
10 years ago. Yeah. 10 years later, they are overnight sensation. Yeah.
So, thank you so much, Rajendran. It is time that we wind up. We have already overshot our time, but listening to you, I
Thank
didn't
you.
even realize the time passing. So, let me just summarize. You started this as a way to challenge yourself in the COVID times, and your principle was you will give fresh every day. You will give a fresh idea, fresh thoughts. You will try to find a connecting point or connecting line through various things which happened over the day. And this is really an example of wanting to live every day to the fullest, because your mind will start thinking, how can I connect this and that and put it together? A very wonderful example. And we have seen the outcome in your YouTube videos. Each one is different, each one has so much of content, so much of thought, and it gives us also an example of what can be done. And Consistency is the key, is what you gave us as messages for those who want to start in the YouTube, go forward in YouTube. And you also stressed, don't bother about social media, focus on your content, give true value, the rest will follow. I love that example by Frederick Harron, because most of us in PSAI know him also. Thank you so much. What I have learned from you is you are a voracious reader. I know that. You are super tech savvy. We all know that. But what I take away from here today is that your passion for learning and teaching comes out so clearly when you speak, and that is what is reflected in what you do every way. And in your introduction also, you mentioned you want to be insanely great at whatever you do. I think in this instant you have definitely achieved it. You are a role model for so many of us to do things consistently, and you will never know what you can achieve at the end of it. Thank you so much. On behalf of PSCI Talk Show, we will now end this session. Thank you so much, Rajendra.
Thank you. Thank you.